Psych. Even though I kind of like that dude. Yeah, I kind of like that dude. Internet connection. What the hell are you talking about? Internet. Why the hell does that keep flashing like that? Let me see something, man. Saying internet connection is unstable. I want to try to make sure I get everything straight before I. Oh man, I meant to be already know. Wow, this ain't cool. They've been doing that a lot lately. Devices or anything on the internet in here. No, it looked like it stopped. Whatever it was doing, it looked like it stopped. Because that little thing ain't popping up right now. Like we was having some type of interference with the internet or whatever. But being that it's Throwback Thursday, hopefully I can get some of you guys to pop on. Then I did put if you would call it a pre-notification, if you want to say that. I put a little something out there to say I was gonna go live tonight on some Throwback Thursday type thing, but we'll see what happens. Yeah, yesterday, fuckers trying to chew into my pack. That's some bullshit. I got a meese in here somewhere. And it appears the motherfucker like cigarettes or something. I didn't know they was attracted. I know those motherfuckers eat marijuana. They like to eat marijuana, but apparently they like cigarettes as well. Well, anyway, when I was here yesterday, I'm kind of happy that a lot of people didn't see yesterday's broadcast, because I kind of had a meltdown yesterday. Yeah, I kind of had a meltdown. It's been, the month of March has been a difficult month for me for like the last 25 some odd years. And it is what it is, you know. But today happens to be April 1st. Therefore, March is in my rear view. So, we're on to the next, as some might say. I'ma just sit around and do whatever I do for a minute, because I just want to say thank you to my supporters, my main supporters. You know that actually, that thing go again, internet is unstable. I don't know how this broadcast is going to work out. Hopefully it doesn't keep doing that, as though it interferes a whole lot with the broadcast or whatever. Because I can see that it's lagging a little bit. But anyway, what I was saying is, I wanted to say thank you to my main supporters, and one of my biggest supporters being wifey. Because I didn't even peep it or whatever. And like I said, there was really no one actually on the live last night with me, whereas though anyone that I was actually communicating with, so to say. There is a little lagging in this, but we're just going to work with it. So, I don't know why it is doing that. I'm going to call the cable company tomorrow. Make sure they ain't did nothing with my internet speed. I'm supposed to have the top internet speed. Lord knows I'm paying for it. Well, anyway, like I said, I kind of had a meltdown yesterday, and it wasn't a good day. You know, yesterday was my brother Ray Ray's birthday, and he was killed in 95. And for those that don't know, we shared our birthdays in the same month. His birthday was yesterday, which was the 31st. My birthday was 2 weeks prior to his birthday on the 17th, St. Patrick's Day. And my other brother that was killed in Baltimore as well, birthday was March the 14th. And for, I won't say for a while, we had just started celebrating our birthdays together in 95. That was the year that my first brother Ray Ray was murdered. So after that, that kind of threw a monkey wrench into that, and a few years later, my other brother Darnell was killed, and that left me celebrating my birthday pretty much alone during that month, because, you know, that whole thing. So when March 10 to roll around, kind of brought about a sense of depression. And last night, going through, with that particular entry from the book that I read last night, it kind of hit me in a place, and it brought about certain emotions and whatever, and I was freaking melting. I was freaking melting around here. But anyway, it's a new day, and it's Throwback Thursday. So what I say, there was going to be a lot of things going on. There will be a lot of things going on today. As far as, and I got to shout out Wifey again as well, because she know me so well. She knows what to do. When I happen to be feeling certain ways or whatever. And just out of nowhere, she come in the room and with all of these pictures from some time ago. Like, look what I found, And some of the things that she went and searched out for me, kind of boosted my spirit a little bit. And I kind of needed that. So some of those things I'm going to share with you guys today. Being anyone that pops into the live, as well as anybody who catches it later. Or who isn't actually on the same frequency as me. Maybe you come in the beginning. Well, if you started from the beginning, as long as you stay on, you're going to see it. So you'll get to see everything I do if you stick around. I tend on going through those pictures. Some of them I will not share, but a lot of them I will be sharing. So we will do that. We're going to go to the next entry in the book. And if anybody comes into the chat and something they want to talk about, or just normal conversation, I'm going to reply to the chat as well. So at this point, I'm just going to be here. I'm going to smoke my cigarette. And fetch the book. Give me a second. Oh, wifey gonna get me. I'm getting ready to set stuff on fire with my cigarette. Maybe that's a sign telling me I shouldn't be smoking. I don't think I burnt anything though. 1 second. Got a bunch of good stuff I want to share with y'all today. Bunch of good stuff I wish to share with you guys today. Like I say, we're into the actual third entry in the book today. People might say, this guy talking about a book, he's pulling out a freaking notebook. Yes, because this is the original. This is how I wrote it. So by the time I get through half of what I actually wrote, For those interested, come on. For those interested and don't feel like getting the stories, poems, or whatever, one day at a time, you'll be able to put in your orders for the complete work, and I won't be actually reading it from this my original. You'll get the complete work. I'll be showing the complete work before then, as far as the actual book, and you'll be able to order them if you so choose. But for now, I'm just giving you a glimpse into me, pretty much. You know? And in this entry, like I said, this entry is titled Preach, Sister, Preach. Written by me on October the 7th, 2007. 14 years ago. 14 years ago, people. I had this work since, so let's just say it, I had this complete work for like the last 13 years. And ever since then, I've been, pretty much contemplating publishing it and putting it out. And for some reason, I just hadn't. Whoa, what's going on, Doug? My man, what's going on? Good to see you in the place, brother. Happy you in the place. Hold on, let me close this window real quick because there's a little bit of noise from the outside. It's kind of bothering me. 1 second, bro. Yeah, but like I was saying, I done had this piece of work for like 13 years, and the whole time I've been contemplating actually putting it out. And everybody that I actually let read the complete work pretty much told me, yeah, no doubt. We're gonna be doing that. We're gonna be doing that daily. You know what I mean? A lot of the people told me that they enjoyed it. You know what I mean? That they actually enjoyed it and feel as though that I should put it out. What are you waiting for? Put the book out, this, that, and the third. But something inside me, you know what I mean? I don't know if it was a how you would call it, where you just had that feeling like you don't want to fail, or you're scared to actually do it because you don't want it to fail. You know what I mean? But then I learned over the years that if you don't actually do it, you don't know whether it will fail or not. It can't fail. It can't do anything unless you actually put it forth. You understand what I'm saying? So, with that being said, there's no telling who actually will get what I'm giving and actually benefit from it. No doubt, bro. No doubt. You know what I mean? Sometimes, like I say, I'm so thankful for the wife, man, because sometimes when I be lacking, man, she, you know what I mean? She can put that verbal foot in my ass, you know what I mean? She can put that verbal foot in my ass, and I be needing that sometimes. Yeah, I got it. No doubt. You know what I mean? So, like I say, she was telling me to do this for the longest time. You know what I mean? and I was reluctant, you know. But like she said, a lot of people might say that they didn't like it, but the whole time they might be saying it because they trying to block your shine. You know what I mean? But for everybody that, you know what I mean, say that they might not like it, it'd be 2 or 3 people that actually do like it. You know what I mean? So either way, you know what I mean, it is what it is. I done did it already, and I got a whole lot more in me. So even if a person didn't like this one, I got a whole lot more in me, and that's one of my passions. So I'm gonna be doing it regardless. Yeah, it's good to have. You know what I mean? It's nice to have. And you got some people, you know what I mean, that you know, some real people actually in your corner. You know what I mean? That's actually rooting for you. You know what I mean? Or actually riding with you. You feel me? You know what I mean? And I'm gonna get into this one. I'm gonna get into this one now, right? And I might go back into it before I hop off of here, but I'm gonna just get into this one right now. Give me a second. All right. This one goes. I hear you have a word for me that will affect a multitude of others. Preach, sister, preach. You say go clean up the streets that you have helped mess up. Make them safe once again for our sisters and brothers. Preach, sister, preach. Show the kids there are other things to do besides trying to be a blood or a crip. Load a few cars up and take them on a neighborhood field trip. Preach, sister, preach. They'll see, they're sure to take pride once they realize in their lives. Wait a minute. They're sure to take pride once they realize their lives actually have worth, as well as instill it in their own kids from the day of their birth. Preach, sister, preach. We can definitely turn this problem we have as a people around. It's not too late. And it all begins with you. If it's the last thing you do, it's your fate. I hear you, sister. I hear you. Yeah, they dated, Doug. They dated. And this was like the third one. This was like the third entry. And when I wrote this, I have a sister that's a ordained deaconess. She's actually a deaconess, right? And on this day, she had actually preached her first sermon, right? It was a big, you know what I mean? It was a big day. She actually preached her first sermon, and I can't even remember what it was, you know what I mean, that she preached about in the sermon, but I'm quite sure it had to do with family and a few other things. But it was just the fact that actually she had set out to do this, and she did it. You understand what I'm saying? And she did it. And ever since she did this, you know what I mean? But my sister has always been remarkable. You know what I mean? She's always been a remarkable person, just special. She just always had this special real special quality. You know what I mean? And a lot of people from this city can owe it to her, just the fact that they have their job title. I'm not gonna go into, you know what I mean, where she works at or whatever, but she's got a lot of people employment, you know what I mean, in this city from where we're at. But just the fact that she embarked on that religious journey, and she not just, you know what I mean, just sat in church and, you know what I mean, she took to it, she did the work, you know what I mean, because you just can't, you know what I mean, get up and just say, I'm a deaconess, you know what I mean, it's work that you have to do in order to, you know what I mean, be ordained. I mean, they got stuff where you can go on the internet and do stuff like that, but she's not one of those, you know what I mean, internet. Nah, she's real with hers, you know what I mean. But anyway, the whole let's say the sermon that she preached that day, it was so inspiring that it made me look at a bunch of things in a different light, right? And that's when I more so started to really think about my legacy and so on and so forth. Like, what can I do? I'm, you know what I mean, I done did so much harm, you know what I mean, in my time. What can I do to at least try to save somebody? You know what I mean? Even if I only save one person, even if I change one person's way of thinking, you know what I mean? What can I do? You know what I mean? Just me. And ever since then, more so, I did a lot of it. I started talking to different people. You know what I mean? Just people don't realize that you can change somebody's whole outlook. You can change somebody's whole day. You know what I mean? Just with a word. You know what I mean? Just with a word. Just merely speaking to somebody, giving them 5 minutes of your time. You can change a whole person's outlook on a situation. You know what I mean? Just by giving them 5 minutes of your time. That'd be just like if I ran into somebody and like you have people outside and they asking for money. You know what I mean? If I give somebody $1, you know what I mean? Instead of me just giving them $1, you know, merely to, all right, give them $1, oh, leave me alone. You know what I mean? Nah, when I give them $1, I'm going to give you a few minutes of my time with that dollar. You know what I mean? Whereas though, just the fact that I'm acknowledging you, you know what I mean? I'm actually acknowledging you. You know that you're worth something. You know that you are worth something because I didn't just look past you. You know what I mean? That alone tells you that you have worth. That I see you. You know what I mean? That you're worthy of my time. You know what I mean? And you don't understand that just something that small could change the way a person actually sees themselves. Because a lot of people look at themselves like they're worthless. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people look at themselves as if they're worthless and don't see themselves as being, you know what I mean, worth anything. So if you can get a person to actually look at themselves as if they're worth something, they'll start to act differently. You know what I mean? That's just like if you start to take pride in yourself. If you have pride in yourself, you're gonna walk different. You know what I mean? Your appearance is gonna be different. You're gonna walk different. Your whole demeanor is gonna be different. You know what I mean? Just because you know that you have eyes on you. You know what I mean? That people aren't just looking past you. You know, it's a big difference when people know their worth. You know what I mean? But if you feel like you're worthless, then you don't feel the need to basically strive for anything. You understand what I'm saying? But this, I'm lighting cigarette like it's fucking blunt or something. Yeah, but this actual little poem or whatever that I wrote on this day, it was the start of me actually looking at things different. Actually looking at things in a different light. As far as a lot of things, a lot of different things. You know, taking, hey, hi. You know what? I'm looking at that symbol, right? You came on one of my videos before, and you said I'm here for MBA. I remember you. I remember you. You say I'm here because of MBA, and I couldn't. I looked up that channel, and it said something about, what was it, Mad Black Atheists or something like that. And you said something in reference to, you saw he had a thumbnail or something on one of his videos, or that I was on the thumbnail of one of his videos or something like that. I actually looked for it and I didn't see it. So I don't really know what that was about, but I'm glad you're here. Hi. Hi. But it's a couple other things that I wanted to get into. Mainly, we'll return back to the whole thing with the entry from the book. But I want to go back for a second. I just want to go back for a second and actually speak about yesterday. Like I said, how March has been, one of those, it has been a month that I don't really I haven't really been looking forward to for the last like 20 something years, and it's a tough time. It's always a tough time for me. So when I came on last night and I said, yeah, I had a freaking meltdown. I had a freaking meltdown yesterday. You know what I mean? So I'm gonna get into some things that my people's dug up for me today. So there was some pictures that she had found that I had or whatever, and she actually, well, I knew they was here, but I didn't know exactly where they were, and she happened to find them for me. I don't know if that's an actual bot or not. I don't know if that's a bot, but I remember that icon. I remember that icon. But like I say, everybody has a place here. Everybody has a place here. But this is I got the light on, so I don't know if you guys can, you know what I mean, can actually see. If you are the type that keep up with my videos, every now and then you'll see the guy will pop up in the corner and says, "Cash Money." That's my pops, right? And he passed in November, this past November. But here, we were actually at my brother's funeral. We were at my brother's Ray funeral back in '95. So And that was him. Pops was always a sharp dude. Right? Here's another picture. Wow, who was that with Pops? Who was that with my Pops? Who was that guy? Who was that guy with my Pops? I don't know where my finger is going, but that guy right there, the little one, that's my little cousin Joseph. But the other guy, standing between Joseph and my Pops, guess who that guy is? Yeah, that guy is yours truly. Got some more pictures. Pops in the middle, auntie on the side, my cousin on the side of my Pops. You know, just pictures of my brother's funeral and some family. Check this out, right? And I don't want to get this wrong. I think this is one of my cousins. I think this is one of my cousins, right? I know that's one of my aunts. This is I think that was my great aunt. That's my dad. I think that's one of my cousins. Yep. What is that? Delivery?
No.
What?
You know they gotta call you, let you know that they outside. So you ain't not answer the phone, right?
No, ain't nobody call me.
Okay.
She always holler about she don't want to be on the live, but she ain't got no problem interrupting my live. Talking about the food that I ordered. Another picture of Pops. Wow. Another picture of Pops. Pops is always a slick dressing dude. Another shot of Pops. And yours truly. Shot of Pops and yours truly right there. And my cousin, and I think that's my great aunt. Another shot of bro. And I'm going to talk about this picture. I'm going to talk about this picture here. Because I don't understand this picture. I don't know what the heck. This is my cousin, right? This is my cousin, right? Now, I don't know what the heck was going on with Cuz that day. Because I caught several pictures, right? And I'm trying to figure out, Cuz, why was your butt all up in the air like that? Right? And I was bugging. Like, why the hell? Like, why the hell Cuz like that? What's wrong with Cuz, right? So, here's another picture. Some of the other family, you know. More pictures of the family. Man, this is an interesting picture right here. It is so much.
Say it again, man.
What happened?
Okay, we got him on our TV.
Y'all got me on the TV?
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you. That was my mama-in-law. Said she got me on the TV. That were pictures. That was my granny. There's my granny. That's her sister. That's my cousin. Some other family members in the back. Look at that. Look at that. That's Doc and yours truly. Doc and yours truly there. Some more pictures in my hand, but I just wanted to go through these pictures. I wanted to show y'all this other picture, right? Because every time I look at these pictures here, and this ain't even the same picture, right? This is a picture of my other cousin, right? I want y'all to see this, right? And I think this is his brother, right? But he's bent over with his ass up in the air as well. I'm trying to figure out what the hell was going on. Why is all y'all asses in the air? I'm like, what the hell? Why the hell is he walking like that? And no, he's not handicapped or anything. So I was trying to figure that out. I didn't understand that one, right? Here's a picture. I'm not going to go into this picture right now, but I will be doing an interview with this guy. I will be doing an interview with that guy. Very interesting story. Very interesting story. And I won't give it up until I have his actual consent in reference to. But if anybody seeing these pictures can probably know the situation. Some of these pictures I won't show. But I got some that I will. Quite a few that I will. Look at that. See that? See that? Yeah, that's the guy. That's yours truly. In the middle of my dread phase. My dreads were short then. That was me and wifey. Another picture. Back in the day, one of my, no, I wasn't no playboy or nothing. That's one of my wifey best friends. And that's bro all the way in the corner. One of my homies, and all the dudes are my homeboys. This is another picture. Me and my brothers, and another person that I consider my brother. So me and my brothers. Another occasion. Yeah, that's your boy. That's mine, the major. You know what I mean? So when I say, oh, and this night in particular, this night here, oh my goodness, this was a night indeed. What happened at the end of this party, there was a guy, right? I guess he had a little too much to drink, and he got to running his mouth with somebody. And when I say he got the brakes beat off of him, They beat the brakes off of him, the tires, the rotors, the lug nuts, everything. He got he got whooped on. You hear me? And they beat him up so bad, and it was so funny because he was just running his mouth. He didn't know what to say out of his mouth and who to say it to. So everybody was laughing. And I'm always, as you can see, I probably was like pretty much the smallest person out of those I was usually around. So when I'm laughing, you know, people will tend to try to more so focus on the smallest person or whatever to try to get out on. And so I don't know. I don't remember how he said it. I don't know who he laughing at or something. So I was like, I'm laughing at you, right? I'm laughing at you, right? I was like, you already took one already. This ain't what you want, right? This is definitely not what you want. But it was just so funny because he didn't know. He had already got whooped on severely, and he didn't know what he was about to get at that point. But another picture. This was a all-white affair. This here was an all-white affair. With some family. I have beautiful family. My family is so beautiful. Another picture of me and the gang. Well, let me not say gang, because we are not a gang. We're not a gang. No, I'm forever dropping something, huh? Give me a second, people. I'm gonna just flash this, because I'm gonna just flash this and leave it at that. I'm gonna see which one of them see themselves and be like, yo. That's next generation. That's next generation, and you already know this. Like I said, I'm not going to show y'all all the pictures. This is another good one. That was another good one. Yeah. Your boy Monda Major was a pretty fly guy. Always been a pretty fly guy. Yeah. You hear me? It's Throwback Thursday. You hear me? Going back in time a little bit. Yeah, that's... Here's another one. Here's another one. Yeah, them drinks was kicking in on that one. The drinks was definitely kicking in. I don't know what I'm always drinking Long Island. I don't know how many of them I had, but they was kicking in that night. Yeah. Wow. It's another one from that night. It's a lot of them from that night. And these are some of the times when I was still going out, you know what I mean? And I'm not, these pictures here, damn, I'm not even going to go. I'm going to go back to this picture, right? I'm going to go back to this picture here. There's a lot of slick dudes on this picture, right? There's a lot of slick dudes on this picture. But this guy right here, this guy, when I say hilarious, when I say that guy was hilarious, and I mean just him telling you from things that happened to him on a day-to-day. That guy was freaking hilarious. Just telling, I mean, oh my God. Hilarious. I even had my nephew. My nephew's even in this picture. He's all the way in the background. Somebody's hand is in front of his face. You can't really see his face like that. 30 years. I think it's a few more. A few more. Then I can get into kicking some bobo. Damn, we took a lot of pictures that night. Jesus Christ. Took a lot of pictures that night. And all of us had dreads. We all had dreads. Dreadlock. Ross Clyde. Blood Clyde. That can get me to think about one day I was at the what was it? Me and my wife was at the market. Who was at the market? We was doing something. And I had this actual Jamaican guy was talking to me, said something to me about my dreads. Right? And I was talking to him and he was like, no, he was saying something to me about how long, because my dreads was all the way down my back. So I guess he thought I was Jamaican. I guess he thought I was actually Jamaican. And he was talking to someone on the phone, right? He was like, yeah, you about to be a naughty dread. You be naughty dread, right? But then when I opened my mouth and he heard me talk, he was talking to somebody on the phone, so he was telling them about my dreads, right? But then when I spoke, right? When I spoke, he was like, how they make that sound? He's an American. He's American. I was like, what the hell? Like, what the hell? The hell just happened? You know how they give you that suck in the teeth? He's American. Blood clot. It was funny. You had to be there. I didn't know how to feel. Oh, I thought there was more pictures in here. Well, I guess it is more, but it ain't too many more I want to show y'all. Some things are personal. Some things are personal. Like something like this. Let me dig it out. Let me fish it out real quick. What I do with it? I want to actually show y'all it. That's little bro obituary. See that, 1995. And you want me to tell you, and you know what was so messed up about that? It was so messed up about when he passed. We had just celebrated my mom's 50th birthday, right? We had just celebrated my mom's 50th birthday. And he actually went and picked up his car. He went and picked up his car. At the time, it was a 735i BMW. He had just went and picked up his car. This was in 95. And he picked it up on my mom's birthday. And we was having a little, like, dinner thing for her for her 50th birthday. So while they were running around picking up things or whatever, he had rolled past my sister and my mom and them with the car. And they were trying to figure out why it was he didn't stop for them. But it wasn't until later on everything that they really found out why it was he didn't stop and pick them up or whatever. Because the whole time he had got into something and he was beefing and he didn't want them in the car, right? So that night, pretty much that night, yeah, because it was like, well, it was like the day after, because my mom's birthday was on the 15th. Mom's birthday is August the 15th. And it was the following day. Well, they had actually got into something that night. Yeah, they got into something that night. And my sister and mom had saw him the following day. That's when he didn't pick them up. Because he didn't want nobody in the car with him. Because he was beefing. So later on that night is when it happened. But it was late night, so I don't know. I guess it's coming. I wish it hurry up and get here because I'm hungry. But pretty much, you could say that he was murdered the day after my mom's birthday. So, you know, well, then my other brother was murdered the day before Thanksgiving. So, you know, their deaths fall on. I mean, deaths are never fall on good days, but you know, their deaths, you know what I mean, fall on days that right before and right after days that are supposed to be celebratory. She got a phone, she can call them. And that way they won't have to try to call my phone and interrupt my live. I don't want to talk to that lady anyway, because she always trying to get me to cuss her out when I talk to her on the phone. We always get to fussing with one another. How you want to fuss with me and I'm ordering my food, but I guess that's not a good idea to be fussing with somebody and you ordering food from them at the same time. That's probably not something that you want to do. So take that as a word of advice from your homeboy Mind the Major. If you're ordering takeout from someone, never argue with them on the phone while you're ordering your food. Because remember, they're preparing your food. And you don't want any extra sauce in your food. At least I don't. Yeah, so that was some stuff that wifey came across today. Kind of brighten my day. Look, here's another one, right? Say, ooh, look at that. Look at that. Oh, ain't them cute? Ain't them so cute? You say, what's the name of the place? The name of the place is... What the hell is the name of the place? What is the name of the place? That's a damn shame, and I'm the one that called them, right? Fuck. What is the name of the place? It's not Panda. What the heck is the... It's not Panda Express, it's the other one. Garden something? Something Garden? Oh, they got it? Okay. Well, if they got it, hopefully I'll be getting it soon. Because I'm starving. I'm starving. So, but I pretty much I'm just trying to find some footing, so to say. And I like to I'm gonna thank my homeboy 410 Doug, because I was, kind of hesitant and reading the stuff from the book, and I brought it up, and he said you should read it. You should actually read it. And he tapped in and let me know he seen some of the when he wasn't on the actual live, he hit the replay and saw that I was actually reading the book. So salute to my man Doug and my other homie on the other side of the world, Johnny Legs. It's probably just, it's early in the morning in Australia. I didn't know. I swear I didn't know that was a 20 something hour, 24 hour, 23 hour plane ride. I don't think I'm ever going to Australia. I don't think I'm ever going to Australia. You know what I mean? Maybe it's good that I got somebody I could talk to in Australia. Johnny Legs can tell me what the weather's like or what's going on in Australia, because I don't have me ever going there. I ain't got me staying on no plane for no 24 hours. I do not have that happening. I gotta get some of this stuff out this room. I got too much stuff in this room. And there's a freaking mouse in here. And I done caught a couple of them. But there's one that just keep outsmarting me. And I can hear him now. That's alright. I'm gonna get about 35. Take about 35 of them sticky pads and stick them all around, just throw them everywhere. Just throw them everywhere. I bet I probably get them. What you talking about? She say they on their way. I thought you say they already had it. When the phone ring, I'ma just tell her to open the door. Cause I'm not stopping my live. I'm not stopping the live, so I'ma just say the food out there. The food. I'ma say Rachel. The food. The food. Like like Tattoo from Fantasy Island. A lot of people don't remember the real Fantasy Island. Where Tattoo, when the plane used to come, Tattoo used to be standing there and looking all slick with his little white suit on. Pointing. Boss, the plane. The plane. That used to be so. I just got my own brand of humor. Certain things just crack me up. And the original, who was that? Ricardo Montalban. The other guy, the tall one that been, well, I guess he didn't have to be that tall, because the Tattoo was a little well, I ain't gonna say the politically incorrect word, but Tattoo was a small person, so a little person rather, so he didn't have to Ricardo Montalban didn't have to be all that tall. He could have been average height, and it would have seemed as if he was tall. But he was dressed like he was just like a big old pimp. You know what I mean? He was just so slick. He was so slick with his, you know what I mean? He just seemed like a big old pimp, and he, you know what I mean, just having everybody on the island, you know what I mean, doing whatever he wanted them to do. You know what I mean? They putting on scenes and stuff, changing lives. They was changing lives on Fantasy Island. You know what I mean? I guess I gotta, man, I gotta stop playing and go ahead and get this other laptop. But then I gotta stream through the phone. I'm gonna figure it all out. Because this live app is mobile, and whatever I do is I'm gonna have to have it where as though it plays through the laptop, and I'm just gonna write on the dinosaur that I got fixed at the shop. They didn't tell me that the dinosaur didn't have enough memory to support Windows 10. So that was pretty much a waste of money with me even. Well, I guess they wouldn't knew. Well, they probably knew, but I don't know if they thought that it might, you know what I mean, work or whatever. But I could write on it, so I'm gonna write a bestseller on the dinosaur. I'm gonna use the dinosaur to write the bestseller, which is gonna be called. It's gonna be a 3-part novel. For those that I didn't speak to that book about, it's gonna be a 3-part novel. The first installment is called The Book. Okay? The first installment is called The Book. And I had already actually wrote the first chapter and a half for that book. But I'm going to start back writing that. And before the year is out, hopefully that'll be finished. And then once that's finished, Rachel, they outside! Get the food! Okay, I'm coming. I said, okay, I'm coming. I'm lying like a motherfucker. I hope y'all can still hear me, because the last time I did that, why are they still calling me? Rachel! Alright, we back. Yeah, she got it now. She got it now. He wouldn't stop playing with me. I answered the phone when he first called and say, okay. He hangs up and call right back. Like somebody was, well, I guess you might have people that actually try to take people food that they didn't pay for. But if I tell you, you got the address, you called me, I said, okay, you see somebody coming out of the house, they're not standing on the steps, they're coming out of the house. Give them the food. Jesus. Just don't know. Oh, but like I was saying, sorry for blowing smoke in y'all face. Well, it's better to blow smoke in somebody's face than blow smoke up there. figuratively speaking, people, the first installment of the 3-part novel is going to be called, it's going to be titled The Book. Simply The Book. It's going to be a story based in Baltimore, very, very loosely, I repeat, very, very loosely based on my life experiences. Very, very loosely based on my life's experiences. So there'll be some things in that book that may actually have happened, but for the most part, let's just say it's going to be more so a work of fiction, very loosely based upon my life. And then there'll be, not to really get into it, but I'm not going to really get into it. I'm not going to really get into it. But when I tell you that this book is going to be freaking amazing. It's going to be a book that when you pick it up and you start reading it, you're not going to need a bookmark. Okay? You're not going to have any need for a bookmark. Because once you pick it up and you start reading it, you're not going to put it down. You're not going to put the book down until you've finished reading that actual book. I guarantee you. It's just going to be like that. I already have the whole story in my head as how it's laid out. So it's going to take no time. It took me freaking, not even an hour to get through the first chapter and a half. To write the first chapter and a half. And that was amazing. But it happened to be stuck in my tablet. You know what I mean? It happened to be stuck in my tablet. Thank you, Maya. Thank you, Maya. But like I said, I'm getting back to it. I'm giving y'all this one. I'm giving y'all this book here basically for free, except for those who get to the point where as though they heard enough stories where as though they want the rest of the book now instead of waiting for it, then they'll be able to order an actual physical copy of it. But like, I'm gonna keep just giving page by page every day until it's done. So if for those who don't want to pay for a physical copy of the book, then plan on being here for the next 185 days. I can multitask. I hope she bring me some salt and pepper. A little bit of salt and pepper. Just a little bit. I had my homie Johnny Legs asked me the other night. We happened to be speaking about the Derek Chauvin case. Chauvin. However you pronounce this guy's name. Delivery!
They gave you order shrimp fried rice?
No.
You got regular rice.
So if they gave me something extra, well, I probably did pay for it. I'm quite sure they didn't give me nothing. That's all right, I get to it. I'm not going to eat it now, though. Thank you. Delivery!
Look, Nanny got my mother got you on the mean, she's not talking to me. She's listening to you.
You mad?
Yeah.
Her mad. I say her mad. Her big mad. She mad. She big mad. Don't be big mad, baby. Don't be big mad. Oh my goodness. But anyway, I can multitask. We happen to be talking about the Dirk Chauvin case. And he said that I should do a video, an actual video about the case. And I told him I don't think he was actually subscribed to the channel when I actually did that video, when the whole George Floyd thing happened. And I did that video. So I told him that I said I got 2 videos on my channel already talking about the actual case or whatever. And he said when he got off the live, he was going to check them out. But we were talking about it, and he was asking, like, what do I think about the case or whatever. And like I was telling him, I said if they, I don't got them finding him not guilty. I got them finding him guilty, but they didn't put that, the state put that, what is it, 3rd degree manslaughter back on the table. Back on the table. And what they're doing is they playing games, because they only have that actual charge in 3 states. That charge is only good in like 3 states actually carry that charge, and that's Pennsylvania, Minnesota, and Florida. And as far as I've never heard anybody found guilty of that, even charged with it, but they charged another police officer with that in Minnesota when the police officer shot and killed a citizen. And they charged him with that. And he was found guilty and sentenced to, was it 15 years? It was I think it was 15 years. I think it was 15 years. But the thing with that is, it's a charge that's not recognized in a lot of states. So that officer that was found guilty of that actual charge, he's appealing his case right now. So by them having that charge on the table with Dirk Chauvin, say the jury found him guilty of the 3rd degree manslaughter, right? Now, if this first police officer that's actually locked up for 3rd degree manslaughter, if he wins an appeal in his case and gives that time back, then guess what happens? Guess what happens? That means Dirk Chauvin does the same thing. And that's what I think they're setting up for. I think they're setting up so as though he get the less, hoping that the jury finds him guilty of the lesser charge, which in that case would be the 3rd degree manslaughter, hoping that they go back, that this other police officer is able to give his time back, and then Dirk Chauvin would automatically be able to give his back as well. Now, I mean, that's what I think is going. That's what I think is going to happen. And I also think if whoever this person is don't get up off of their horn, that it's going to be a problem. But like I said, when I first did the videos about when that first happened, and they tried to, what did they charge him with? They charged him with 3rd degree manslaughter. And I was like, that's not even a freaking charge. No, they trying to get him off. And I did the video. I did the video speaking about it. And there was a whole lot of, I mean, they've been trying to get him off from the start. And if anybody cared to, you don't have to if you want to, because I'm thinking about doing another video about the case or whatever. But if you want to, you can go back and you can watch my previous video that I made of talking about that. From the time that happened, they were trying to get him, set him up to get off on this case from the jump. The medical examiner ruled it a homicide, but then the medical examiner ruled that it wasn't a homicide, right? So the family had an independent autopsy done. And they ruled it a homicide. Because when the original person ruled it, said that it wasn't a homicide, I got pissed off and did the video, right? Then after I put the video out, the independent person said that it was a homicide. Then all of a sudden, they started saying that the original one said that it was an actual homicide. So if the original one said it was a homicide from the beginning, what would you need an independent for? What would you need an independent for if the original said it was a homicide? You know what I mean? They were playing games from the start, right? Trying to set him up to be acquitted or whatever. And like I said, they're still trying to, but they're just trying to figure out a way to do it where as though the city won't go up in smoke again. You know what I mean? That's what's happening. But hopefully the people, like I said, I don't understand how, you know, when people go to court and stuff like that, the jury is supposed to be impartial. You know what I mean? But there's no way that you can get an impartial jury as far as this case goes, because everybody around the world know about the case. So you can't have a jury to say, no, I know nothing about it. So most people that would come in, they would have their mind made up already as to whether he's guilty or whether he's not guilty. Anybody coming in from the jump already has their mind made up on what side they're on. If they're one of the ones that said that he shouldn't be locked up, or he should. But it's just going, they still have to go through the whole circus, you know what I mean, to get to the end. But like I say, I mean, you had the whole world riding. You had the whole world riding for this guy. You had laws and stuff changed. You had the way police departments, you know what I mean, conduct themselves changed and everything because of what happened. And anybody with a set of eyes can see what that was. You know what I mean? So it's all going to be, like I say, I don't know. I'm just curious to know. I got to look for myself to see if, because they're trying him separate. They're trying him. Then they're trying the other three officers are being tried together. But he's being tried separate. So I want to know if they're using, and somebody tell me if you heard anything about any of the other officers testifying against Derek Chauvin. Because the one guy that was doing CPR on him in the ambulance, he pretty much testified against them before they even went to court. Before, you know what I mean, he gave a deposition, and he pretty much, his deposition was pretty much him testifying. Because I'm quite sure they're going to use his deposition in the court. You know what I mean? To say that he said this, he asked him this, he asked him that. And Derek Chauvin pretty much told him to stand down and shut up, pretty much. You know what I mean? So I'm just, you know what I mean? I'm very interested to see if he's actually taking the stand against them. You know what I mean? And this whole thing. Or if any of them, for that matter. Because out of the four police officers, I think that all the other three are actually out on bail. I think Derek Chauvin is the only one that didn't receive a bail, that they didn't let out on bail. But the other three, yeah, all three of them are out on bail. So, I don't know how that goes. You know what I mean? I'm quite sure at least one of them is testifying against him. Maybe I gotta start looking at it. I'm gonna actually start following the case myself, just to see. What did I do with my freaking? Oh, Jesus Christ! Like they say, the first thing to go is the mind. But if that's the case, I'm gonna hurt this dude, man. Sometimes I think people be really knowing that I be in here and that I actually be doing my lives. And be just doing stupid stuff just to interfere with my lives. Because you're just sitting there beating on the horn when you can get out the car. You see what I'm saying? You can get out the car and go knock on the door. Why are you beating on the horn like that? Like I said, it could have been somebody that actually know I'm on live and say, I'm going to mess his live up. People be really thinking that I actually make some money doing this. I don't make no... I don't make no money doing this. You don't see no commercials, no ad, nothing on any of my videos. Nothing. You don't see an ad on there. There's no money being generated. Not for me. But when you don't know nothing, you don't know anything. So that's probably why somebody called themselves breaking into my car. I know they was real pissed when they went through all of that and ended up with nothing. Not even change. Did all of that and didn't even get any change. I wish I could have caught him, though. Lord knows I wish I could have caught him. But I guess it's like they say, God knows best. And it probably was best that I didn't. It probably was best that I didn't. You know, That's what's so messed up. When people actually think that if you're trying to actually do something to benefit other people, that you must be getting something out of it. You know, why would he be doing it if he ain't getting no money out of it? And when they don't know, everything ain't about money. Everything isn't about money. When people don't realize it got more to do with existence, with what I'm doing anyway. What I'm doing has more to do with existence than anything monetary. But people don't see it. People can't see past the tip of their nose. Average person can't see past the tip of their nose. You know? You got all these young kids out here and killing themselves or one another at the drop of a dime. What happens? What happens when you got people killing one another at a real high rate, and then you basically killing yourself off? If you're killing the person, then you got this one going to jail for the rest of their life, and this one dead. The more that happens, the more your numbers go down as well. Because you done took out 2 people that won't be reproducing. Then you had this happen over and over and over again. Eventually, what do you have? You have a society full of females, and a female can't reproduce by themselves. Sad to say, you have to have a male somewhere in that equation in order to reproduce. And then you have a lot of females. When you have a shortage, and you have females that on the bed. Why, you took mine? You ain't bite it, did you?
No, I'm holding my hand.
Alright, stick it back in the wrapper. You gonna say you ain't here. And then you have females sharing men, and females becoming or wanting to become men. Your population decreases, constantly decreases, more and more, until it isn't able to reproduce at all. So when you're not able to reproduce at all, what happens? Just like the dinosaur, you become extinct. But when you have a society of people who aren't very coherent most of the time, you can't talk to them like that. They're not getting it. They won't get it until they look around and realize there's only 100 there's only 100 men on the planet that look like them. Then what do you do? I mean, I could seriously excuse me, I could seriously lay out a blueprint for, and this would be just for educational purposes only, I could actually lay out a blueprint that could stop a whole lot of violence as far as people that sold drugs. Like in the inner city, I could lay out a blueprint that would stop a lot of violence if they would follow that blueprint. And if they followed that blueprint, they all could make money. Eventually, they all would make money. But they would have to follow that blueprint. But I'm scared to even say it. I'm scared to even say it because if somebody got a whiff of it, you know what I mean, and they actually started doing it, I'm scared that that the freaking government would come after me and try to tie me into a freaking case or something, saying that I spearheaded this or something. Like I conspired with these people to sell drugs simply because I laid it out. You know what I mean? But I guarantee you it would work. And that's the main problem. Is that they shrink. You shrink the area in which these people live, and you keep piling them on top of each other. You keep piling them on top of each other. You pile them on top of each other, and the circumstances remain the same as far as their financial circumstances. So they're going to eat the only way they know how. So it becomes a dog-eat-dog situation. Only the strong survive type situation. And we all fight over something that at the end of the day, neither one of us own. We can fight and kill each other. And then the ones that actually own it can send in the big boys and just get the rest of us out of there at any time. You know, somebody said something. I think it was the guy Willie D. A lot of times I watch his channel or whatever and listen to him. And he said it, but I think somebody else said it too. How people have no problem pulling a gun out and shooting somebody for the craziest thing. Something that's simple. The simplest thing. But then when you have the police can come in and violate you. I mean, just violate you. Whenever they feel like it. But you'll see them coming and you'll run. But somebody that you could have resolved the issue with over something minor, you would kill him. And it's not to say that I want to see any police be killed or anything like that. But it's kind of crazy that you'll run from, you're supposed to be this super tough person, but you'll run from this person that you know is going to violate you, that then violated you constantly, but somebody that ain't got no more than you got, you'll take their life from them. But to say, that's the police though. What difference do it make? If you're opposed to somebody, if you gonna say somebody violated you, you gonna say that this person violated you. What's the difference? If you see like it's, I mean, mandatory that you not have no smoke with this police, then you can find another way to resolve your problem with this person that don't have, I mean, no more than you got. And that's the thing I don't understand. Another thing, how these young kids run around calling each other the ops. The ops. No, that's the ops. I wonder if they actually know what ops is abbreviation for. I really want to know. I don't know if they actually know that ops is opposition. You know? And if somebody doesn't have more than you have, or are stronger than you in some way, shape, or form, they can't be your ops. How can they oppose you? If you beef, how the hell can you beef with somebody that's on the same block as you, trying to get the same scraps as you? How can you look at them as opposition? Y'all on a level playing field. Somebody that's on a level playing field with you can't possibly be an op. An op is somebody that got it. You know what I mean? That's, I guess you say, well, op can be somebody that's trying to stop you from getting it. But they ain't trying to stop you from getting it. They trying to get it like you getting it. Y'all both trying to gather up scraps. Well, I guess it's just, you have to find a way to relay that to them in a way that they will listen to it. I'm trying to find out where all the OGs at. Where all the real OGs at. You know, the super tough ones. And why they don't go back out there and try to get that message to the young kids, man, like that. We always had guys out in the streets and stuff like that, But nowadays, you got just as many females out in the street just like the guys. A lot of them thinking they harder than the guys. Shoot, in some cases they might be. You know, I was talking to somebody and I was like, how back in the day when we was outside like that, you ain't hear females and kids getting caught up, you know what I mean, in the bull, you know what I mean, in the streets like that. You know, and he told me, the guy said something to me that made me think about it. And he was like, a lot of these females, just like I said, a lot of them are in the street like that. You know what I mean? Doing things that the guys do. So then when if you actually knew some of the stuff that they was out there doing, you know what I mean? That, you know what I mean? You would look at it in a different light. Whereas though, when it all boils down to it, not to say all of them, because some of them be getting killed and stuff over stupid stuff, but you got some of them that's in the street and they be active for real. And I say it's just a totally different time. You know, I tend to have conversations about a lot of different stuff. And me and somebody else was talking. And we got to talking about time left. You know, and I said that I don't think it's I don't think it's that much time left. Not to say that everything is just going to fade to black tomorrow. But I think eventually man is just going to do itself in. The human race is just going to do ourselves in. Because we just don't know how to act. Period. You know, money is becoming more important than life itself when you focus everything on money. something that can save you. You can have all the money in the world. Somebody pull a bullet in you, you know what I mean? That money can't save you. You know what I mean? You can't just put a stack of $100 bills on a bullet wound and be alright. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, it's something that does you no good. At the end of the day. But most people base their world around money. Getting to the money. And that's it. Then when they get it, a lot of them just do the stupidest stuff with it. Just give it away. They get it to merely just give it away as soon as they get it. To me, that if you damn near kill yourself to accumulate something, then as soon as you get it, you give it to the next person. I mean, you basically give it away. That's crazy. That's like you take half of these rappers, these young guys, they never had any money. They luck up and be able to make music, right? Next thing you know, they get into the money. First, show enough money they get, what do? They go run to a jeweler. Oh, I need this big old chain with diamonds in it. Big old diamond chains. Half of them don't know the first thing about diamonds. You know what I mean? Don't know the first thing about precious metal. You know what I mean? So a lot of them is walking around with trash on. But the jeweler, you know what I mean? The jeweler probably in cahoots with the record executives. You know what I mean? Look, soon as I give him this check, I'm going to send him to you. And you charge him $200,000 for a chain, a watch, and a bracelet. You know what I mean? You make sure you give him the garbage stuff and kick me back $10,000, $20,000. You know what I mean? After you take his money. And that's what they do. They go buy jewelry and a $100,000, $200,000 car. First $1 million they get, it's gone. But mama ain't got no house. You know what I mean? You ain't bought mama no house. You ain't bought you no house. But you got $200,000, or so you think, $200,000 worth of jewelry. And what, 100 and something thousand, $200,000 car. But you still in mama basement in a row house. You still in mama basement in a row house. And wonder why you end up dead. And wonder why you end up dead. because you got a freaking Bentley truck parked outside in the hood. And you coming outside was supposed to be $200,000 worth of jewelry around your neck. In the hood, where everybody else is starving at. I feel as though it should be mandatory for any young person that come in the industry that they have to put up. I don't care if they over 18. I think at least until they 25. There should be some kind of a written law or some kind of provision in record contracts where at least 25% of any money they make up to the time they 25 gets locked away, whereas though they don't have access to it. At least until they 25. And people don't know how easy it is to brainwash people. And people associate us when people look back and say, oh, we came from this, we came from slavery, this, that, and third. But then, once people are able to get money, these younger kids, you know what I mean, the ancestors, what was the thing that stuck out the most about slavery? Whips and chains. Whips and chains. That the slaves were constantly whipped and they were constantly shackled. Chains. Right? What's the first thing when these young kids get money? What's the first thing that come to their mind? Chain. A chain is something that you know what I mean? A chain itself is a tool of bondage. You know what I mean? It's supposed to be a tool of bondage. So when somebody say, oh, you part of this record label, I'm going to give you this chain. And they chain you, but you give you the chain with the record label on it. And the only thing they doing is putting you in bondage. Because now you're locked into a contract where basically that record company owns you. They owned you. They owned you like a freaking slave. Pretty much like a slave. You become a slave to the record company. But this is what's on when the young kid picks up that microphone and discover that he can put words together. Well, as soon as I get on, I'm going to get me a big old chain that, you know what I mean, with my name on it, with diamonds. He wants that chain. You know what I mean? He wants that chain. And what's the other thing that you associate with the slave? The whip. What's the whip? What do young people call cars? What do young people call cars? They call them whips. They call them whips. So then you have your chain and your whips. Here you had your ancestors run away from the chains and the whips. Now you have the kids today that'll sell their soul to get back to the chain and the whip. And they basically sell their soul to be back in bondage. How crazy is that? How crazy is that? But mama don't have a house. They don't have a house. Your first $1 million basically went on a whip and a chain. Then soon as you get in trouble, you find out neither one of them was nowhere near worth the money that you paid for them. You end up selling them, and then you're back to ending up with nothing. What are we doing? If I can see this, if I can see it, you mean to tell me that nobody else can? Nobody else can see everything like I see it? Or it ain't real. If you come from the hood, it ain't real if you get your first $1 million check and say, I'm going to buy mama a house, at least out in the county. You know what I mean? I'm going to go buy mama a $300 house, a $300,000 house in the county. Instead of buying that chain, I'm going to go buy mama a house. You understand what I'm saying? Instead of buying that $200,000 car, I'm going to go buy 4 cars. You know what I mean? I'm going to go buy 4 cars instead of 1. You know what I mean? Or you ain't even got to buy 4 cars. You could buy 2. 1 for the household, 1 for yourself. And then I'm going to put this other money in the bank. No, if I don't spend it all, I'm not going to look real. I gotta look like I got $1 million. How does one look like they have $1 million? As the average young kid, what does somebody that got $1 million look like? And they're going to tell you, Lil Baby. They're going to start calling off rappers. You know what I mean? They're going to probably start with rappers. Because they more so have to be seen. You know, diamond this, diamond that. And then they start calling off the athletes. Because athletes, a lot of the times, emulate the rappers. And then they might go to the actors. Because they follow behind the rappers. They emulate the rappers as well. You know what I mean? But what a person looks like, the people that I consider that would look like they have $1 million, the ones that I've seen, all the rich people that got, real money, they don't walk around in Jordans. They don't worry about Jordans. You know what I mean? And $1,000 jeans and stuff like that. You might have some of them that spend money on their clothes, but even when they put them on, the clothes don't look like nothing. But a lot of them have a pair of jeans. You might see them and they be wearing a pair of jeans, the same pair of jeans that they've been wearing for the last 10 years. Same freaking pair of Levi's. You know what I mean? That they've been wearing for the last 10, 15 years. Tennis shoes. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? They buy a pair of tennis shoes, they run in them. You know what I mean? When they buy a pair of running shoes, they actually run in them. You know what I mean? They're not buying a pair of running shoes to look slick and walk around and, you know what I mean? They actually run in them. You understand what I'm saying? People that have money, they don't flaunt it. You know what I mean? That's how you really tell if somebody have money. The people that have it don't put it on the outside. Only way you'll know is if you get a glimpse into their portfolio. Now these guys is running around with all this gold and diamonds and cars that's $250,000, $500,000. Soon as the lights go out, what happens? What happens when the lights go out? All that stuff gets sold. Then 2-3 years later, they end up with nothing. You know what I mean? They end up with nothing. People don't have no sense of. It's crazy. And then you got a lot of them that may come from the streets, but then you get out of you lucky enough to get out of the streets and start getting to some money. And they'll be dumb enough. Here comes that, I got to do this. If I don't do this, it's going to look like I'm not real type thing coming back into play. Or if I don't deal with this person and I'm going to put some work out on the streets. I got to put some work out on the streets because I'm doing this persona. I got this persona, you know what I mean, like I'm the street guy. So I got to, you know what I mean. But then, when your name ends up in a federal investigation, you know what I mean, and you go and they lock your whole team up, Now you mad because ain't nobody coming to visit you. Stupid. They already told you that they was recording your conversations that you had with somebody that you was going to the prison to see. Do you actually think somebody is going to come to the prison and visit you? And actually have to worry about themselves being part of an investigation? Hell no. And then they so young. You have them so young, you kids 16, 17. By the time they 19 years old, they worth millions of dollars. But not fluid. They have a worth, they have a net worth of millions of dollars. But they don't have fluid. They can't touch millions of dollars. They can't touch actual millions of dollars. That's the difference. But the ones that they run to and give all their money to, the car dealer, the exotic car dealer, the jeweler, now those guys can touch. They can actually touch millions of dollars. And you're not going to tell me anything. You're not going to tell me that them people don't be in cahoots together. You need somebody to start giving these younger people the manual. But everybody say you can't talk to the younger generation. But I say different. I say different. I say you can. It's just the way that you talk to them. You cannot talk down to them. If you talk to them on a level that is equal to, you can talk to them. But you cannot talk to them in a manner in which you're patronizing them. You know, talking to them like they're a child. Especially if you're talking to somebody that's probably been in the street since they was 14, 15 years old. Now they're in their 20s. So basically they've been providing for themselves for the last 10 to 15 years. But then you try to talk to them like you trying to son them or something. Of course they're not going to respond well to that. Of course they're not. Neither would you. on the other hand, say you talking to somebody and you're merely having a conversation, right? You're just merely, hold on for a minute. Should you take my soda? Damn, I think I drank it. I got no soda. Rachel, can you bring some soda up here? Please and thank you. I'm getting thirsty. I don't know how old this soda is right here, but I'm about to drink some of it. And where was I at? Oh, because I've had conversations with younger people. And like I say, I'm shaking the whole joint up. Excuse me, y'all. And I come to realize that they were receptive to what it was I was talking about. You know what I mean? It's not like they were not listening. You know what I mean? They were actually listening. They were responding. You know, the dialogue was good. Because I spoke to them on a level in which, you know what I mean? No, you should do this, you should do that. You can't do that. You can't do that. But if you're asking someone, you ever think about, you know what I mean? You ever think about this, doing that? And you're more likely to get the response that, well, the response in a manner in which would be more along the lines that, you know what I mean, that you're looking for. Even if they said no. You know what I mean? It would just be no. You know what I mean? Not get the hell out of my face. As if you would have said, you need to do this. You know what I mean? You need to do this, you need to do that. Man, get the hell out of here with that. You know what I mean? Now, have you ever thought about doing this? Yeah, I thought about it. You know what I mean? But I don't know. You know what I mean? It's all about approach. It's all about approach. And a lot of times people want to continue to look at people as if they're kids. But if a person is no longer a kid, whether they're your kid or not, especially if it's somebody that been out in the streets and doing for themselves for a long time, whereas though, let's say that their youth was actually stolen from them because they didn't get a chance to actually be a freaking kid. You know what I mean? Because they had to grow up fast in order to just in order to survive. You understand what I'm saying? Now you want to say, okay, it's all right now. Now you can stop. You can stop now. What? What? Can't do that. You can't do that. Especially if a person then got used to a certain lifestyle. Oh, now I can go work at McDonald's. You know what I mean? I drive a $50,000 or $60,000 car. I can go work at McDonald's. You know what I mean? No. And then if you talking to somebody like that, you gotta be willing to, which is only common sense. If you telling somebody they need to stop doing something that they doing, you have to be able to replace that with something of equal or greater value, which is only common sense. You know what I mean? You don't just tell a person to quit your job. You know what I mean? Oh, quit your job. Just quit your job. Well, how am I gonna pay my bills? Oh, don't worry about that. Just quit your job. How much sense that make? Even though, you know what I mean, it's what they may be doing may be illegal. At the same time, it's what they know. It's what they know. It's what they've been doing for the last 10, 15 years, and it's been working for them. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what they're good at. Maybe they feel as though that's what they're good at. Now, you put me in something, you know what I mean? Even if I tried to do this and I get there and I'm not good at it, then what happens? I didn't let this go. You know what I mean? I didn't walked away from this. Now, what I tried to do didn't work. Now I'm stuck. You know what I mean? No, you gotta. That's why I say, oh man, I swear I wish things weren't the way they were. Cause I be wanting to. I be just wanting to speak. I be wanting to speak this blueprint of mine, man. I be wanting to speak. Mm. It would be a 5 year. It would be a 5 year. Just say a 5 year cycle. A 5 year cycle. Fuck it. What I'm saying is for educational purposes. Educational purposes only. I'm not telling nobody to do anything. I'm not asking nobody to do anything. Just merely my thoughts. Now, what I say, then check this out. It would come with some sacrifices as well from the parties involved. They would have to be willing to sacrifice. Now, you take the average, let's say a group of people. They might say, this is my team, right? They little team or squad. Let's say might consist of, let's say 5 to 10 people, right? Let's just say 10 people, right? All right. Y'all got this little piece of real estate locked down, right? Y'all got a little bit of this, y'all got a little bit of that. You know what I mean? Y'all got a little bit of everything. So let's just say y'all got a 10-person squad, right? Now, let's just say 9 times out of 10, y'all smoke, y'all drink, and y'all get fly, right? Now let's start with the whole getting fly part. Now let's say the average person spends even if you not the type, let's just say anywhere from $500 to $1,000 a week shopping, like going to the mall and on the weekend or whatever, even if you're just getting fresh for the club or whatever, right? Let's say 1,000, 500 to 1,000, and 500 on the cheap end. You know what I mean? Let's just say that. Let's just say 5, all right? But y'all got a 10-man crew, right? So y'all gonna bust down at least $5,000. Y'all gonna go to the mall or whatever, and y'all gonna bust down $5,000 a week on getting fly, right? At least 5 to 10. You know what I mean? 5 to 10 grand, and that's just on clothes, right? Outfit or two, because you're not gonna get a wardrobe. You're just getting fresh for the weekend, and so this is every weekend, right? So let's just say 5 a week, right? 4 weeks in a month. So just that 5 a week is already at 20,000 a month, right? Like I say, y'all probably smoke and drink. Out of the 10 of y'all, let's just say y'all spend just 10 of y'all, and all y'all, you know what I mean, smoke. During the course of a week, y'all gonna spend over $1,000. Y'all gonna spend over $1,000. I'm gonna say on the low end, y'all gonna spend at least $200 a piece. Especially the way kids they be smoking, you know what I mean? You're gonna spend over at least $200 a week smoking. So now and again, 10-man crew, right? That's $2,000. So in the course of a month, that's another $8,000, right? So now you up to 28, right? You up to 28,000 a month, right? Now you go drinks and whatnot, right? Drinking, let's just say the same thing, right? No, let's just say 100, right? Let's just say 100 on the drinks. So you add another $4,000. So now you at 32, right? You at 32,000, right? Now you still got the females. You know what I mean? You still got the females. You gonna spend the money on the female. You know what I mean? Whether it's your girl or whatever. You know what I mean? You gonna spend some money on a female or whatever. Now you already at like what I say, 32. Yeah, you already at 32,000. So by the time you treat your little girlfriend or whatever, you say hair, nails, outfit or whatever. If you spending 5, say you spending 5 on clothes or whatever, she gonna get 3. You know what I mean? Cause she need her hair, she need her nails. You know what I mean? Let's just say you do 2, right? Y'all do 2, and that's on the low end with the female. You know what I mean? Say you do 2. 10-man crew, that's another $2,000, right? That's another $2,000. So boom, now y'all up to 40,000, right? And that ain't even including the food. and all that stuff, right? That ain't even including the food and stuff that y'all gonna spend money on during the course of a week. Shit, y'all gonna spend at least another $200. I'm gonna say just on food, especially if you hugging the block all day. Quite sure you ain't eating 7-Eleven hot dogs and pizza all day. So let's just say you spend $20 a day on the food. Let's just say 100. Just call it even 100. An even 100 a week. So that's another $1,000, right? Boom. Now y'all at 44. Just we gonna just say $45,000, right? Y'all little 10-man clique, right? Spend $45,000 a month, right? Boom. 1 month, right? Now, if we got people to, now in this y'all little area, right? And this is what y'all call y'all little piece of real estate. Now you got other people up there, maybe a couple blocks away, they doing them. Another couple blocks away, they doing them. Another couple blocks away, they doing them. All right, you over there, you over there, you over there. This us, right? We agree, nobody step on nobody's feet, right? And we rock here for 5 years, right? With the understanding that once our 5 years is up, that whatever crew is waiting in the wings, you understand what I'm saying? It becomes their time. So within this 5 years, if y'all got a just pretty much a throwaway budget of 45 grand a month, right? During the course of a year, just say if you're spending 45,000, if your little crew spending 45,000 a month, let's just say as a crew, y'all get it in y'all head, well, we gonna cut our spending in half, right? So half of that 45 ends up being saved, right? Every month, right? Let's just say 20 of it. Every month, instead of us spending running through 45 grand, we just run through 25, right? Everybody get themselves a $2,500 limit, right? Now we saving the 20 grand, right? You saving that 20 grand every month for a whole year. At the end of the year, you got $250,000. You know what I mean? You got $250,000 every year, right? So by the end of that 5-year run, you sitting on 1.25 million, right? You sitting on 1.25 million, right? Now you don't even have to wait to the end of that 5 years, right? Every year that go past. With that 2.5, you know what I mean? With that $250,000, you could have at least 1 to 2. Actually, 1 to 2 is just spending your own money. You know what I mean? You could have at least 5 business ideas. You can at least have every year. You could venture into 5 business just during the course of that year. Y'all get together and draw up 5 different business plans. And you got 50 grand. You got 50 grand to invest in each one. So if you got a business plan and you got it laid out and you got 50 grand in capital to invest in your own money, you know how much, you know the type of loan you can get to match your 50? Come on now. What's the odds of you got 5 businesses opened up, right? But you still getting money. You're still getting money. You know what I mean? But then you got 5 legitimate businesses over here. You understand what I'm saying? What are the odds that at least 2 of those businesses are going to float? You know what I mean? So if only 2 of those businesses are actually floating, out of that, it was all throwaway money anyway. You know what I mean? It was money that would have went to waste. The next year, you do the same thing. You do the same thing. And everything that you're making on the legal side, this is just money that you don't really even have to touch. You know what I mean? But by the time your 5 years is over, you got a string of businesses. You know what I mean? Your crew, your crew from off the block becomes y'all are now a company. You know what I mean? Y'all are now a company. Y'all are now a legitimate company. You understand what I'm saying? Whereas though y'all portfolio probably hold at least out of the 25 businesses y'all done opened in that last 5 years, y'all probably 15 to 20 strong. You know what I mean? Y'all 15 to 20 businesses strong. You know what I mean? That's strong and actually making money like that. Whereas though there's no need for y'all to even worry about the block no more. You got legitimate businesses that you making money off of. You know what I mean? Now y'all step down and y'all let the next, you know what I mean? You let the next group do their thing for the next 5 years. Dig what I'm saying? It's that simple. It's that simple. And the only thing that has to happen is it worked one time. If it worked one time, and people will see that it worked one time, it wouldn't be a problem with people actually agreeing to do it. You understand what I'm saying? But it's like the people that grow up in this area. You from this area, so you're going to tend to get money in this area. You know what I mean? But you have to wait your turn. You know what I mean? You have to wait your turn in line. You know what I mean? And that 5 year is pretty much a generation. It's pretty much a generation. Because you figure on the average dealer or whatever is going to jump off the porch around 15. Somewhere around 15 years old, they're going to jump off the porch. You know what I mean? So between 15 and 20 years of age, you know what I mean? Boom, that's your 5 years. So by the time you turn 5, you know what I mean? By the time you turn 20, you could possibly be in Forbes, man. Y'all company could probably be in Forbes. These young people, these young inner city people, you know what I mean, that pool their money together. Nobody, you know what I mean, thinking about where your money came from. You know what I mean? Only thing you got to do is get your first businesses situated. Who's saying, oh, $50,000? You know what I mean? When you come into the thing, you come into it as a business. You know what I mean? You come into it as a business. You got shareholders. they're not really shareholders, but you got people that invested. You have investors. You know what I mean? In the company. But it'll just be on them to lay out their own business plan as far as their businesses go. But any smart person that's on the block is supposed to know that everybody can't be on the block. You know what I mean? Everybody can't be on the block. Somebody's going to have to go to school. You know what I mean? Somebody's going to have to go to school and go to college. Because just like we got block boys, we're going to need lawyers too. You know what I mean? We need lawyers. We need doctors. You know what I mean? We need those other things too. You understand what I'm saying? So it ain't like the whole hood is sitting there waiting to get a turn on the block. You also have to make investments to the future of other people. If you see, that's just like when we grew up. If it was guys that played ball and the older guys knew that they had it in them to go pro, you know what I mean? Wasn't nobody going to touch them. You know what I mean? And if they did, they was going to pay. You know what I mean? If you touch one of them golden boys if you want to. You know what I mean? And you was going to pay. But just that, and it's supposed to be the same way when you had those certain people that you know what I mean? They not built for the block or whatever. And they are actual just students. They into their studies and stuff like that. Then you got to shield them too. No, you don't mess with him. You know what I mean? He going to school for such and such. He good. You know what I mean? He ain't to be messed with. You understand what I'm saying? Then not to say that they owe you anything when they become who they are, but it's the same thing where as though they could come back and maybe do something for that area or whatever, for the people that they grew up amongst. You know what I mean? Not just for the person, you know what I mean, per se, just for the people, you know what I mean, from that area. Because people get it twisted like when you get money, oh, you're not supposed to leave, you shouldn't leave, you know what I mean, that area or whatever. Yes, you should. Yeah, you should. I'm not even going to sit here in front. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you should just stay. Oh, you should never leave the hood. Yes, you should. You should. If you are able to, especially if you're the type that feels the need to flaunt the type of stuff that the average person in that area can't afford, then you should be somewhere where, you know what I mean, where other people could do what you do, more so. But don't get me wrong. That's not to say that you can't come back. That you can't come back to the hood and actually do things in the area. But if you want to be the type that flaunt, no, that's not good. Because eventually, you're going to make somebody feel like, you're going to end up making somebody feel like they're less than. or even if you don't get into it personally, you have people that just end up feeling a way. And they can just be feeling a way when it might not even be like that. You know what I mean? And things happen. But like I said, if you the type of person that just like to flaunt what it is you have all the time, then maybe you should, you know what I mean, find another, you know what I mean, area to live and just come back and visit. And when you visit, humble yourself. You know what I mean? Just humble yourself when you visit. You want to do the flash thing? Do the flash thing with where you're not even out of place. You know what I mean? Where those around you got a just as big bag as you got. As though they not starving, so they're not offended. You see, the government really wouldn't want nobody to figure out that it's an actual way for people to, I mean, let's say hustle without conflict. Because you got to remember, prisons have become privatized now. So it ain't about fighting crime. It ain't even about that no more. It's about filling orders. You know what I mean? They have to have bodies in them jails. Just so they can fill those orders that they have with these different companies. You got companies that make clothing, that make furniture, just about anything you can think of. And they have contracts with jails where they have the inmates actually doing the labor. And they might agree to pay the prison $10 an hour. Just say $10 an hour. You understand what I'm saying? To do this work. And the prison send these prisoners over there and pay them $1 an hour. If that. So if the prison make $80 a day for sending you over there to do the work, but they only paying you $8 a day, and they keep the 72. All right. Do you think they would want to see you go home? Or if it was time for you to go home, don't you know they got to put somebody in your place? Okay. So let's not get it twisted. There's no real reason no matter how much they say, oh, we want to stop, quote unquote, we want to stop all this crime. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because if you stopped all this crime, who gonna go into prisons? Who you gonna put in the prisons? And they constantly building new ones. They constantly building new prisons. So if you're interested in stopping all this crime, why are you constantly building new prisons? It don't make sense. My food was all late tonight. I hate eating super late. This big old shrimp. That was a big old shrimp. I don't know why I dumped all that in this bowl. Cause I ain't gonna been to did nothing but end up dumping it back into the container. And mess around and eat it for lunch tomorrow. And that was a lot of food. That was a large. I didn't even eat my egg roll. I'm sorry, I'll probably get up and eat some more. I know I had a napkin. I had a few napkins. I'll probably jump up and eat something. That's why I hate eating late. I don't know about nobody else. Once I don't eat after a certain time, my body be like, I got a real funny stomach. I don't eat at a certain time or whatever. Or say if I'm sitting there and the food cooking, and I can smell the food cooking the whole time I'm there. If I can smell it, by the time the food get ready, I don't be able to eat it right then. Because it's like I smelled it so much while it was cooking. I can't even explain it. Like, I can't explain it. It's like, it's like while I'm smelling it, I'm actually eating it. So by the time it gets done, I'm not hungry anymore. You know what I mean? Not at that moment, not at that actual moment, but I end up eating it later. But then I've been on this kick lately. I got a lot of, like, my brothers. I have a brother that's a vegetarian, and I got a son that's supposed to be vegetarian, but sometimes he be thinking chicken is vegetables. Sometimes he be thinking chicken is a vegetable. But I find myself a lot of times when I be eating, I find myself eating my vegetables and stuff before I've been touched the meat. A lot of times I'll be eating, and the meat will be the very last thing I touch. And then by the time I finish eating my vegetables and stuff like that, or in the starch or whatever that's on the plate, a lot of times I really don't even be wanting to eat the meat. I just eat it, you know what I mean, to get it off my plate, you know what I mean, because I had it on my plate. But a lot of times I be just good with the vegetables. And I've been really giving it, I've really been giving it some thought. You know what I mean? But it's healthy eating. You know, I don't like to eat a lot of grease. You know what I mean? Me, myself, I don't cook. I don't cook with grease. You know, I've been stopped cooking with grease. And it's very seldom that I actually eat, that I actually eat greasy foods now. I mean, let me get that, let me correct that. Because I say greasy foods, I mean fried foods. I don't eat a lot of fried foods anymore. I like to eat stuff from the oven, like bake my stuff. Even if I eat something that's, let's say, pre-cooked or whatever, a lot of times people drop stuff in the grease if it's pre-cooked. I'll put it in the oven. Even like fries and onion rings and stuff like that, I put them in the oven. I don't drop them in grease. You know what I mean? So I've been on that. But as far as other foods, no, I would much rather eat baked chicken as opposed to fried chicken. Now, I still like fried fish. I still do prefer fried fish over baked fish, but I like baked fish too. But I guess that's probably more so because when I eat baked fish, you know what I mean, it kind of reminds me of sardines, and I like sardines too, but I don't know, I still like my fried fish. You know what I mean? I like fried tilapia better than anything. Fried tilapia and steak fish. I really enjoy both of them a whole lot. You know what? You know what? This guy got to work in the morning. So I'm about to check out. What time is it? Yep. Yep. This guy's about to check out. So, as always, I appreciate you guys for tuning in and spending some time with me. It's always a pleasure. I'll be back the same time tomorrow. And hopefully, you guys will be back with me. So, until we meet the next time, I want to bid you guys a fond farewell until tomorrow, when we'll be back with some more just general talk. Whatever comes to the mind of Major, or whatever comes out the mind of you guys. You know what I mean? But we'll also have the reading from another entry from the book as well. I had fun. I enjoyed myself. Thoroughly enjoyed the dialogue as well. I even appreciate, I don't know who this person is, and I'm very interested in knowing. I mean, I'm glad they stopped past and said hi. Hi. I'm glad they stopped past and said hi. Oh, man. I don't know. I thought it was a bot, but it seems as if this is a real person. I think. Maybe it's not. I don't know. But anyway, special shout out to my man 410 Doug, always holding me down. Shout out to Hi. That's what it says their name is. Hi. And Hi says hi. Brittany Smith. Thank you, Brittany Smith. And my mama-in-law. I want to say thanks to my mama-in-law watching me on the TV. About to bid you all a good night. So until tomorrow, I didn't say it. Anybody catching the broadcast, make sure you hit that subscribe button and become a learn to think for yourself. So next time, like, comment, subscribe, share, It's your boy C Major. I was live. 2 in the air. I always gotta hit this 2-3 times before it go off. And then I'll be talking all when the video going off and stuff. Just a little extra something for the people to say, do he even know that the video was off right